Okay, I would like to officially welcome you to the first episode of Through the Back Door that is a solo episode. So, I've been thinking about how I'm going to make this podcast a little bit more functional, a little bit more easier to work with my schedule, and sometimes having guests all the time is really difficult to schedule. So, I figure why not talk about some really great things that maybe don't get touched on, but are kind of always the foundation of the podcast, anyways. We're going to talk about mindset, what it takes to be an entrepreneur and an artist in the fashion industry, what it really takes to show up for yourself, and all the mindset and little thoughts and tricks behind that. I'm really excited because these are things that I think about all the time, and I'm really happy to share them with you because maybe this might help you with your fashion career, your social media career, anything in your life that you have going on. So, first, let's start with my week. So, the couple times I've tried to sit down to film this, I was just doing it cold turkey like I normally do, and I couldn't think of anything to record. So, I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend the whole week collecting data and then I will find things to talk about. And I found a lot to talk about this week. Not only was there the Chanel watch party that I went to, there is a new Pantone color. There are creative directors changing in different fashion houses. There was the British Fashion Awards that happened, and just a lot of interesting things to unpack. So let's start with the Chanel watch party. I live in New York City, and I personally feel like New York City's fashion scene is really great. I feel like it has something to do with the fact that we're all kind of crammed into one space. We all have to work, we all have to commute. We're not in a city that's kind of sprawled out, and everybody is just kind of like down to just do fashion, honestly, in my opinion. They're down to wear fashion in the subway, they're down to talk to people who are into fashion, and I think that's really cool, and it's like a very interesting time to be in this space. So, with that being said, I was getting off work. The watch party started at 6. I was a little worried that it was going to be a crazy line, and it did become a crazy line, but I got there around 5:20 and I was able to get towards the front. It was really cold, but definitely worth it. But I mean, that's just kind of the vibe of February Fashion Week. You're just cold. So it kind of is preparing us for that. So when I got in, it was really great. It was kind of crazy because a couple people recognized me in person, which is like always such a crazy and exciting experience. So we got there and the vibe was really great. Lias did a great job hosting. What I really liked was he mentioned his outfit. He brought up a discussion about his outfit, and what I really liked was that he was willing to have people criticize the outfit and say they didn't like it, which I think is really important in today's fashion landscape because sometimes a lot of the ideas that we hear online are kind of the same. And I think we should celebrate a lot of different of opinions or tastes or interests. So that was great. The whole watch party was amazing. The best part about being at the watch party was hearing how reactive the crowd was. So let's say, like, the first time a knock walked out, like the whole audience was like, woo. And then when Alex Kasani came out, everybody was screaming. It was just like a really fun vibe because it felt like the sports that I never really got to like experience because I'm not a sports person. So I never really felt like this camaraderie with strangers in a place and all of us kind of like enjoying the same thing. So I thought that was very special. One thing that's been really cool since I got out of fashion school is seeing how much fashion has changed just in these 4 years. Fashion was kind of what it used to be like. It was kind of like an insider's game. The only people that really cared about it were fashion people and like celebrities and stylists, but it wasn't this kind of like all encompassing experience where it feels like your general person has a fashion knowledge these days, which is good and sometimes bad. It's been really great to watch, if you've been following the content creator Lias from the beginning, that this was just a party at a bar in Paris and now it's kind of going to turn into something like more substantial, obviously. I'm glad he brought it to New York, and I think that it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and this is kind of going to be like the next wave of things that brands prepare for. Maybe they start to consult with Lias and do like brand deals or different things where maybe the designer comes and talks to people. Like, I can really see this being a huge collaboration and branded effort because, first off, it takes a lot of work to organize one of these things. And I think that over time, the higher ups are going to start seeing the immense value in interacting with their fan base, essentially, because that's something fashion's been kind of missing. Is it's kind of been like something you pay to participate in, and now it's kind of turning its head and becoming something where brands should actually reach out to you so that they show you that they love that you're a part of their community. And I think that's what is interesting about these watch parties is it's kind of twisting everything upside down. But all things aside, the theme of this episode is ambition. And clearly we see that with Lias's ambition and making this watch party an actual thing. I would like to point out the success markers of that is he just did it probably as a whim because he didn't get invited to the show. And then a lot of people showed up and then he was like, oh, wow, I have something here. And I realized that after doing a lot of interviews with people, this is kind of the same success pattern that I see. Someone kind of stumbles into something because they notice that there is a lack of something that they need and they make it. So, what is that for you? For me, it was networking parties. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. And then I just hosted one and it became an automatic success because people needed it. So, I would always challenge and think about what is it that what problem am I trying to solve? Because that is maybe your viral watch party idea. So this is a little less of a fashion moment here, but this is where my brain goes. So walk with me here. That's like very much like I just saw a Dan Kelly video, so walk with me. So I started watching The Gilded Age. I don't know if people love it or if they hate it. I love period pieces, so I'm obsessed with it because I just got the HBO Black Friday discount, so I've just been watching everything that I've never been able to watch. And one thing I notice, I am completely obsessed with Miss Russell. And these are the reasons why. I love that she relentlessly pursues her ambitions. And here's what I mean by that. Regardless if she's a capitalist or whatever, all these things that we could maybe label, I find that something is really interesting in how she challenges the beliefs that are around her all the time. She can't break into the society because it's old money and she's new money and she's never going to be enough. And those people would have loved for her to believe that and to just send up packing and live in her nice house. I kind of feel like we see this in fashion a little bit today. I kind of feel like this is what we're seeing in the fashion industry. There's a lot of people who don't want content creators and influencers in space. There's a lot of brands that do accept influencers and content creators, but we are still seeing valid. So, this is what I would have to say to that. If I'm going to listen to Mrs. Russell's unwavering faith and belief in herself, I feel like this is an exact example of that. Content creators, influencers, people who are making a name and a place for themselves online are the new version of what she was. Nobody asks you to show up in any capacity ever. You have to take that, right? So it's like finding a way to legitimize yourself in the space by also taking a space that wasn't given to you. So how are you going to do that essentially? What that looks like to me is being really intentional of what you want to go after. We've definitely seen examples of this kind of ambition. I mean, we definitely saw it at the British Awards, all of these models that have won. I just feel like it is highly important to always be pursuing what you want for your dreams to happen, especially in the space, because nobody's really going to give it to you. And I think the more that we see social media progressing, the more we're going to, in a way, legitimize content creators and people who have made some kind of space or name for themselves. So, on another random note, I love tying two things together that don't make any sense, but I experienced them. So, they make complete sense to me. I watched this very off brand deep dive on Kim Kardashian and her success. And it was one of those things where you know, it was old friends, people she probably never associates with that are being interviewed. And, there's dramatic music, whatever. I think it was on Peacock if you want to watch it. But something really stuck out to me. Do you guys remember Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt? Is that his name? Oh, God. Spencer Pratt. Well, he was talking about how Kim was relentless in her pursuit of what she wanted, and she wanted fame, essentially. So, one thing that stuck out to me was that he was talking about this specific time. This was the height of their kind of fame, and he was talking about how she was a pro networker. And he shows this video, and it's a very short video of just Kim coming up to Heidi after the runway show. She did like a swim runway. She did a swim runway show. She did a swim runway show. And she was just, her regular self, telling her congratulations. She looked great, kind of popping in, saying the whole family was there, supporting her, did her little thing, kiss, kiss on her way. And he said that was what she was always like. She always was networking and working the room. And then you see in the video that she's talking to each important person in the room. And I think that this is a concept that gets kind of diminished in society, especially for women. You're not supposed to let me get to the point. When we want to pursue our goals, sometimes through our programs and our brain and what society tells us, that success is merited only if it is given to you. But what a lot of times it is for people who are successful, it's something that they take relentlessly. And this is why I think all of these things tie into ambition and social media and claiming the space. So I think, I'm not saying you need to like use people or this is a negative thing, but I think there needs to be more onus on completely owning the fact that you are relentlessly pursuing your ambitions. And I am inspired because I'm watching The Gilded Age and seeing a character do that in a time where women didn't do things like that. And then I'm watching in real time somebody like Kim Kardashian follow through. And yeah, I just think it's like very interesting because we're in a space where it is kind of a free for all. And if you have a brand or you want to be a stylist or you want to take your business to the next level, I think sometimes this is that confidence, that piece that is missing, that is really, really, really important. Basically, sometimes it feels like ambition looks cringe. Basically, sometimes it looks like ambition looks cringe until it works and then it's genius. So sit with that. Sometimes success is not an accident. It's engineered, and the people who get it are the ones who stop pretending that they don't want it. Okay, so here's the takeaway. Fully owning what you want is powerful and sometimes the only thing that's going to get you through difficult times. Because when you are an artist or an entrepreneur or putting yourself out there, it's going to be difficult because it's not easy and it's not normally what you've been doing your entire life. Sometimes this is leaning into the category of Delulu, and I think a lot of people are familiar with that. So it's kind of like leaning into that and just really claiming that this is possible for you and this is your space. The people who make it are the ones who care the most. They are the ones that are relentless. And oftentimes they don't apologize for being hungry. Okay, so before I wrap up, I kind of wanted to do like an inspiration list each week, things I love, things that I'm wearing, things that I'm doing. And here's the following. So first off, this is Charlie. He's passed out. If you haven't seen him before, he's my little chihuahua. I'm obsessed with him. My cat is in the corner as well, so she's also passed out. And that's my little family. What I'm reading is... It's me, I'm over here. Okay, lost my face for a second. What I'm reading actually for the second time, because I think this does take a little bit of rereading, is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. If you are someone that's struggling with if you're someone that's struggling with mindset and you kind of just want to break out of it, this is going to be really helpful. There are meditations online. that you can get. I highly suggest doing those as well. But this is the main thing that's going to help you really just get to that next level.
Bless you.
I am super obsessed with my new bag. It's from Mary and Shelley. It's a little guitar. It comes with a strap that's also a what is going on? It comes with a strap that is also a real guitar strap. So if you actually play, you can use that as well. It is literally so cute. I just like find myself, oh, I have the auto. I just find myself like walking around and people are like, "Oh my god, I love this. It's so adorable." So yeah, this has been my favorite of the week. I got these Mista boots a couple weeks ago, and I am just going to tell you, I'm literally obsessed with them. They are my favorite items, and I wear them all the time. I get so many compliments on them. They're not uncomfortable to wear for long periods of time. I wear these to work all day long, and they're really, really cute. And the last thing on my list is I am so obsessed with this lip gloss. I am so obsessed with this Summer Friday lip gloss. It's seriously like the best color. I'll show you. It's like the perfect, will it focus? It just smells really good and it's literally like the perfect color to put over any lip color that you do and it like darkens it a little bit. So I've been really obsessed with this. I also really like their sheer skin tint. This is my second bottle of it. I think it's just like makes your skin super glowy and I think it has does it have I thought it had skincare in it. I don't know, so I don't want to claim that, but I am seriously obsessed with this. So yeah, next week, tomorrow, I'm gonna go to Brenda Hashtag's event and see how that goes. I think it'll be really interesting to meet her in person, and then I will be collecting more information to give you another episode. And yeah, we have lots of fun things planned for the new year. I'm going to be moving, so my background is going to be changing, but the apartment is way nicer, way more sun, calmer area. I'm surprised we haven't heard a million sirens go by, but I just want to say I am so excited. I just want to say I'm so happy for this community I'm building online. This has been something I've been working towards for a really long time and I'm just so excited to be available. If you have any questions about working in fashion, if you have any questions about working in fashion, getting into the industry, anything like that, just feel free to DM me. I usually am available to just send you a quick voice message. Also, emailing me is the best way to get in contact with me. Sometimes my messages just don't go through. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be building a platform for people who are in the fashion industry and a resource for them. If you have any if you want to see if you want to see any me talk about anything else, like please feel free to leave a comment. Please like and share and rate this so that we can get this episode so that we can get this podcast going more, so that we can get this podcast out there to people who actually would like it. And yeah, I just really enjoy doing this and being this and motivating people in this industry because I know how difficult it can be. And I truly love doing this. So thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you next week.